Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm Alicia. This is Quilty Bird Piecing. Welcome to my hen den. That is what I'm going to call it going forward. I'm so glad to see you. If you're new, thank you for joining us for the first time. Please like and subscribe. Do all the things so that you know when I am back on. Soon after the first of the year, I'll be back on lives. But today I am here to show a little package that I got in the mail that I'm very excited about, and the next round of my kit stash for you guys to vote and tell me what it is that you like the most. So in the last video, what most people were liking was the Hometown quilt by oh my gosh, what's her name? Sweetwater. And I am so shocked that it was like, yeah, I'm looking over here so I can see. It was the that quilt, the Hometown quilt, and the Berry Basket quilt by Kim Deal. Most people like those two. Those were the top winners. If you have not seen that video, go back to my last video. Look at those quilt kits and please comment and let me know which one that you like the most. But right now, the winners so far are the Hometown quilt kit by Sweetwater and the Berry Baskets by Kim Deal. Today, we have another plethora of kits, none of which are probably alike at all because I just like stuff. So I buy a little bit of everything that I like all the time. But before we get started in that, I wanted to show you, I already opened it, but I wanted to show you this lovely lady. So this is a scrap bag of the up and coming line called Light a Rose by Bunny Hill Designs. And I am super duper excited to get it. So in this bundle, which cost $9 each, I bought 2 bags. She limits you to 2. And it is a piece of every fabric that is in the line for Light a Rose. And I am going to hold them all up. Now the pieces are different sizes. It's basically probably just pieces of the cap sets and the way that they come. But it's one piece of all of it. This is the piece number 1. This is like the biggest size that you get. But they go down like an inch smaller as you get to the end. This is a white on white, which seems to show pretty good right there. Then you go to the next inch down per piece. Every time you get to a smaller piece, it's basically an inch smaller than the previous one. The little ladybugs. Then there's these little wispies. Oh wait, I think that's a little bit upside down. Oh no, they go all kind of ways. Okay. That might be upside down. Then this is like a print that she uses all the time. And I love it. Then there's this one. And these are all the lights. And there's this little yellow. And then this teeny tiny little strip. And again, it's a scrap bag, so they will be different sizes. This little white with the pink and the little pink flowers and the blue polka dots. This is one of my favorites. All these look, I say this every time I get a sweet line, but it just looks like you should be making either dresses or shirts or something for a little girl, or hair bows. You can make a hair bow with all these fabrics that would just be adorable. This little gingham, this little print with the teal blue background. Same as the first one with white dots and white flowers. Then this stripe and this teeny weeny little strip. Then we move on to the pinks and reds, but this one's pink. This one with the ladybugs. Little rosebuds. a gingham, that stripe in a little bigger piece, and the teeny weeny strip of rosebuds. This is my other favorite, which is just the same print, different color. Love it. A stripe. These are the last few pieces that you get. A gingham. And these brownish tans. This little rosebuds. And that pretty little floral and a teeny weeny strip. And you get all of that in 3 little bundles. As you can see, there's one here and one there, and then the one that I got for $9, and I purchased 2. But this line does not come out till January, maybe February, but this is it. I love it. I take all of these sweet little fabrics like Bunny Hill and which is Ann Sutton, and what's her name? Brenda Riddle, and anybody else that makes those little lines that are just sweet and feminine and all kinds of feminine like. I take all these little scraps and all these little pieces and I put them all together, and this quilt, basically it's not a quilt kit. It is just a bunch of fabric that I put together that I think is going to go real well in this pattern that I got from Cake Stand Quilts. So this will just add to that bunch of fabrics, and I'll sift through them when I have the opportunity to sit down and put those kits together, put that stuff together. Now we're going to move on to our kits. This is our first one today. It is the chamomile kit. I bought this from Latimer Lane Quilts. I know it was well over a year ago. This quilt pattern comes from Woodbury Way, because she doesn't sell the pattern. The pattern doesn't come with the kit. You have to go and buy the pattern from Woodbury Way, and this is it. And she put this fabric together at Latimer Lane Quilts to make this. It is a combination. They're all molded fabrics, but I don't think they're all from the same. I know this is Camille Ross Kelly, but I do not think they're all from the, ooh, something red is on here. This is a white on white, well, cream on white on cream. And then this one, that's Camille Ross Kelly as well. And of course, that's Swoon. So we all know that's Camille Ross Kelly. And so is that. And the lady, I think her name is Jamie. Or maybe it's not. I can't remember what her name is. But from Latimer Lane Quilts, does a lot of quilting for Camille Ross Kelly sample quilts. So she has a lot of her fabric. This is adorably cute. This is Fig Tree. I don't think there's a name on this one, so I don't know what this one is. That looks like Camille Ross Kelly too. Let's grab some more. This is Lola Boutique. That's what these are. I don't know about that one. Lola Boutique. I don't know about the cherries either. And I know this is Lola Boutique as well. I have those fabrics. Then there's a red, I think this, let me look at the pattern. See how they colored it? Yeah, no, it ain't nothing like that. I'm gonna have to look at the sizing and see which piece is which. Now those are all the center squares on the inside. And then the background is white. The sashing is pink. Is this. This is sashing. This is 3/4 of a yard. So this is sashing. yellow cornerstones, which I think is a 1/4 yard. So I think that's this, which is red cornerstones. The binding is 5/8 yards. So this is the binding. And this is a Bella. So this is the background. So, I'll pick that up. Again, the quilt looks like this. It's called Chamomile. And it's going to be basically a red and pink version of this low volume quilt. This is designed by Allison Jensen of Woodbury Way. And this is a PDF you can buy on the Woodbury Way website. And if you like this quilt, want to vote for it, I am looking very forward to making a low volume quilt, because I don't think I've ever done that. But Chamomile by Woodbury Way, which I purchased from Latimer Lane Quilts, and she does this quilt kit repeatedly, not the same fabrics, but once she gets enough of a color to put a low volume together. She did this in Christmas fabrics too. She used low volume Christmas fabrics, and she put together this same pattern in that. So if you watch her Instagram, it's Latimer Lane Quilts, and on Instagram she'll have, I'm sure she'll do this again for another in another colorway. Next we have Fringe. This is by Robin Pickens, and anybody that's been watching me for a while knows that I love me some Robin Pickens. My quilt is in this colorway. My quilt kit is in this colorway. And I got this from my Quilt Besties at the Quilt Spot, New Jersey. And it is, what is the name of this fabric? This fabric line is called, I can't remember. Maybe it's on here. It is called Dandy Duo. And this is binding. This will be your, what is this called? Background. This is borders, I think. Is it? Yeah, this is borders. This is sashing. And the blocks are made with a layer cake. And it looks, let me put it this way. It looks like so, with all these different colors that you can see. So you get a layer cake, this gray thatch, which is for the sashing. Ooh, don't run away. Which is for the sashing. This is for the borders. This is for the binding. And it is going to look like that. It consists of a lot of cutting, but it doesn't look like it'll take forever to go together. The size is 68.5 by 83.25. Weird. But 63.5 by 83.25 is what it's going to finish at. And if you would like to see this one made, and here's the sizing. This is where she, if you wanted to look at this, the back, we will be making this one. And if you would like to see me make this one in 2026, feel free to, I'm putting this down on the floor, to vote down below. Next up is, what's the name of this one? It is the Betsy quilt. So I do not have the first page to this pattern, but I will show you it together. This is the Betsy quilt by Jessica Dayon. It is a 2-color quilt, and I am not doing this colorway. I am doing a yellow gold colorway. This is the background here. This color is Marigold, and I got it from Connecting Threads. And these are all, mine is going to be a scrappy middle. So the concept that I am using, which, you know, I'm going to hope it comes out the way I see it, is to start with my lighter yellow golds here and push out. So we're going to be lightest in here, mediums in here, darkers in here. And I am going to shoot for all of that to look a totally different tone from all the settings in here. All the settings are going to frame all of what's going, starting light in here and pushing out in the blocks in here. And it's going to set inside the marigold. That is, for somebody who's never actually designed anything, that is very ambitious for me to think that I'm able to do, but I'm going to try my best. This is an example of the darker. Like, this looks, in the camera, it looks kind of gingerbready to me. But it's actually not quite that, but in the camera, it looks that way. And then this is one of my pieces. It's all going to be pretty scrappy looking. This is a favorite of mine. It's Art Gallery, and I love this fabric. Most of these yellows, a lot of these yellows are Art Gallery. This is Robin Pickens Thatched. And it's actually a lot lighter than it looks in this light. But there's this one. Let me put them next to each. Okay, so the tones do look different. Okay, they do. They do look different. I was like, they all starting to look the same to me. But they're not. These are all my yellows that are going to go into this quilt in some way, shape, or form. And I'm putting them next to each other so you can see the difference in the tones. These are the same line of fabric, different yellows. These are kind of the same. But if I place them with something else, they won't look the same. So these are all of my medium, well, these are all of my darkers, really, that I just showed you. And maybe some that need to be moved to medium. These are all of my lights in the light yellows. This is reading a lot brighter than it actually is. These are my light yellows. Same line as this one. These two are. This one's actually not yellow, but those butterflies help with that. We have these two with the yellows. This one, which I think is adorable. I have no idea what kind of berry that's supposed to be with that coloring, but I think it's cute. And these last two of my light yellows. And then my medium yellows are here. This is a Juicy Juice, I think. This is reading a lot brighter than it actually is. Let's go with this one. Oof. Oof. Yeah, it's not that color either. What is this? Let me move you just a tad. So those are all my yellows that are going to go here in this quilt pattern. Like I said, it's very ambitious for me to try. Yeah. I have thought of taking this pattern and trying my best to put it inside of my EQ8 software, which I don't know how to use, so that would be very ambitious as well. But, and I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. It'll probably take more time than it would take me to choose the fabrics to actually put in the quilt on my own. But, and I have made, they over yonder. Hold please and I'll go get them. Okay. I have made two blocks to start off with, and these are mediums. These are not darks or anything. These are my mediums. As you can see, some lighters in the middle. And then there's this one. I made two of the same. So I've started trying to plan it out, and I've gotten that far, which is not very far. But if you would like to see me do the Betsy quilt in 2026, vote down below for this one. Next up is a Elizabeth Hartman pattern called Greenhouse. All the requirements and the sizing are here. The small version of the quilt looks like this. Hoping I can find a picture of the large version all together. Let's see. Really? Okay. This is all in one color, but the large version is going to look like that. I am doing it in a dark background. There it is. I am doing that with the dark background and the plants in those different colors. And these are all the colorways that this is everything I received in the kit, because I bought this as a kit. This is not one that I kitted myself. Of course, the Betsy, which you previously saw just a minute ago, was something I kitted myself. This is a kit I purchased, and it came with all of this. All of the solid pieces that you see in here, all of these Kona solids came in a Kona solid layer cake, which I have not starched completely because there's so many different pieces that you use. This is showing you what you lose each month. So for A, and you go down, this is row A, you're gonna need all of these fabrics for row A. So what I did when I got ready to get started is I just took row A's fabrics and I starched them one at a time. This was when I was in between figuring out my starching now, so you're gonna see a whole lot of white on this, but when I finish making the quilt and I wash it, all of this will come out. So like for row A, you have here, don't worry about the flake, all that'll come off later on. And these particular solid pieces that I'll have to cut. But the thing is, I won't need these colors anymore going forward. So these colors will all be used simply for this one quilt. And the colors, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, when you get to the colorway that you're using, like here, for this row that you're doing, they're all in colorways that you're going to use. So I would just take all those purples and that are here, and that would be, I would starch this level and I would make the row here that matches it, and I would pull the plaid that goes with it. They're each in colorways in the rows that you need. And then these are called kitchen table plaids, I think. Aren't they? Kitchen window wovens. That's what they're called. They're called kitchen window wovens. And they're in these plaid colors. They're absolutely too. They're so pretty. They are Revlon. And if you don't know, Revlon makes my nerves bad, which is why I starch. I cannot stand it. I tend to pick, and I will be here all day cutting every one of these little threads off of this fabric if I don't get so frustrated with it and just never use it at all because it gets on my nerves. So I try my best to control that as best I can. But this is that quilt. It's going to look like this. And if you would like to see me do this one in 2026, then vote down below so I can get it on my list. So a quickie to add to the list. I did not take these fabrics out because it is 1,000 of them. I'm just going to show it to you on the swatch page. But the quilt is this. It's 'Twas the Night Before Christmas by Fig Tree. The fabrics are here. And it is a fat quarter bundle plus yardage. And it is way too many. It is just a huge quilt kit. And so I purchased it again from Latimer Lane Quilts. She shipped it to me, and it's this one. I was going to try, and I still may. I am doing a quilt called Yuletide Sampler along with Tammy, the Siberian Wind, and Kathy from My Hobby Home. We're doing it live on Kathy's channel every second and fourth. Not Kathy, on Tammy's channel, the Siberian Wind, every second and fourth Friday of the month. This is a 12-month commitment, and we're not doing this one. We're doing a Yuletide Sampler too. My goal was to keep up monthly. So as I do one of those months, I do one of these months, and then by the fall of next year, I'll have 2 Christmas quilts that can be sent to the Long Armor, quilted, and I'll have 2 Christmas quilts for next year. That's the goal, but this quilt kit was huge, and I already got a lot of stuff on this table, so I just didn't pull it down for you. But if you'd like to see me do this one next year, I'll probably be doing it anyway, but go ahead and vote. That'll give me more of an incentive to go ahead and get finished with it. But this is 'Twas the Night Before Christmas by Fig Tree. I think I left the background off for this greenhouse quilt. It is this big, huge piece of Essex linen. So this is what the background is for that greenhouse quilt. It is sitting in my lap, and I don't think I ever showed it to you guys. I look down and I'm like, I don't think I ever. But anyway, it's if you haven't seen, that it comes with this frill at the end. This is the selvage end. Because this is a woven, it comes with those threads at the end of it. But it's Essex linen, which is also Robert Kaufman, just like Kona. So I wanted to make sure that I snuck that in there since I forgot to show it to you guys. Okay, next is one of the most challenging quilts that I have in my repertoire. Although some of this stuff look like it should all be super duper hard, it's not. This right here, it's definitely challenging. Maybe now today it won't be as challenging for me as it was before, but it was definitely a challenge. Now I have only completed 3 of these. I have started on these. Let me get a little closer so you can see. I've completed 3 of these, which I'll show you in a second. And I started completing some of these, which I do periodically because there's like 100 of them. So those I'll do periodically. Once I finish all those pinwheels, my periodicness is going to end up being this, the sashing. I'll do periodically between everything that I'm doing. Tilt that a little bit, get that glare out. I'll do those sashings periodically between whatever it is that I'm doing. And then everything else I'll just do, you know, when I'm working on that month. Because I got this as a block of the month. It's called Bridal Path. It is by Lynn Wilder of Sewing Wild Oats. And she has a new pattern that I saw on somebody's website as a block of the month. However, if I decide to do that one, I will just out and outright buy the kit. Because if I buy the kit, it's like $225. If I do the block of the month, I'll end up spending over $300. So I will probably out and outright buy the kit. But she has a new pattern as well. She created the quilt pattern for this year's the quilt show, not for 2025. I did not join the quilt show, but I want that quilt pattern, so I'm probably going to do it before the year is out so that I can get the entire block of the month from last year, and then I'll have a whole year's in ready for next year. I'll be paid for an entire year, so I will get next year's one too. And next year's one is really interesting. I'm not sure if I'm all into it or not, but I'll get it anyway just so I can have the pattern. But I really want this year's pattern that they had for 2025. But this is that kit. The 3 blocks that I have finished are here. And this is, as you can see up here at the top, it was very, very stressful with me putting them together. But there's one. It was stressful, girl. And I had a problem in the same place every time. Look at that. Look at that up there. There's the next one. And these points are terrible. The points are terrible. The points on the ends are the terrible ones. The ones inside look halfway decent, but I'm going to cut all these end ones off at some point, I'm sure. And then there's the other one. Let me pull it back a little. I've done those 3. Here are some of my pinwheels that I've made for the cornerstones. They turned out really well. That's why I say, and these are more recent things that I've done in the last, oh, like that one's terrible in the middle. Let's not look at that one too hard. That one look a bit better. This one looked fairly decent too. And I have a bag of, how many do I have? I don't know, but I have a bag full, and then but I also have a bag full of the separate half square triangles that I've made too. So I have several more to go. I've made this many and the 4 that I just showed you. And I usually make anywhere from 4 to 6 at a time. Like I'll carve out, come in and sit here at the machine, and I'll look over to the left because I always have it sitting in my face so that I'll remember to go ahead and do it. And I'll be like, let me grab a few of those, and I'll take out 4 or 5, enough to make 4 or 5, 6 of them. And then I'll go ahead, and the first thing I'll do that day is go ahead and make those 4 or 5 or 6, press them up, size them back and down, and then I'll stick them in this bag. And I'll wait for the next time that I get an inkling to just look over at it and go, okay, let's go ahead and get that done. And then I'll do that. That's the way that I am doing these, so that I didn't get bored making, like, I think it's 60 of them you have to do. So I didn't get bored making 60 of them. I just make them a little bit at a time. When I get to these sessions, because it is like 150,000 of those as well, as you can see in there, and I'm going to get all my strip sets together, make the strip sets that I'm going to make, cut them into pieces, then I'm going to stick them in bags. And as I'm working every other project that I may be working, I'll keep them over here to the side, look over at them, make about 6 to 8 of them, and then put the rest of them, leave the rest of them in the bag, pull them out another time until I get them all done, so I don't get bored with trying to get all of those done at the same time. This I got as a block of the month, like I said. I think I said that a little earlier. So all of them I have, you know how I do. Let me put this in. I pull everything together. And so this month, I got these. It says all the rest of the fabrics to make these were received in months 1, 2, and 3. So these particular, this was kind of progressive, but not progressive, because you needed the other fabrics that you need for this heavily in months 1, 2, and 3. They gave you enough to save until you get to, what is this month? This was month 7. So you're going to make 4 of each one of these houses here out of these fabrics here, and what's left over from months 1, 2, and 3. Let me stick this back in here before I don't remember what it goes to. Our month number 12, which is the outside borders. Here we go. Which is basically the outside borders, inside border, outside border. And it looks like that. Month number 5. Try to pull that down a little bit. We'll be making those. I think it's 1 of each block because you make a bunch of them. Month number 3, you'll make those stars. Month number 2, which I've already started, you'll make those stars. Let's see. Month number 6. Let's see. Trying to get the paper down a little bit out of the way. Okay. Month number 6, you'll make those blocks out of these fabrics. Month 11, I think this is the setting triangles, will be made out of these fabrics here. Here, I'll turn that one this way. What's this one? This is where you start making, come down. Hold on. This is where you start making those sashings. And it'll look like that. 1 light, 1 darker. And you're gonna make them with these fabrics here, these 2. And month number 4, these fabrics. I mean, these squares. Let's turn you a little bit. There we go. I think that's all of it. I think that is all of it. But again, it makes bridal path here. What size is this? I don't remember. Let me find out for you. She's kind of big, I think. She's 98 by 98. Yep. So if you'd like to see me finish this one in 2026, remember what to do. Vote down below for Bridal Path, and I'll put it on my list of things to do. Lastly, for today, I have a plethora of Kim Deal Whatnots from, I think it's the 2025 Whatnot line. Now, her newest one is about to get ready to start in January of 2026, which I'm not going to do, but I probably will get the fabric because I think it's very pretty. This one, it's called Sugar Shaker. That's that kit. This one is called Postage Stamp. And I can turn this one around so you can see the lovely fabrics. This one is called Topsy Turvy. This has a lot. This is a thick one. This one is extremely thick. I like this one. This one is called In a Pickle. And it fabrics. They're the same. They're all from the same fabric line, but some of them have different fabrics in them. This one is called Cornerstones. And Kim Deal is known for her tiny pieces. So if you'd like to see me make either of these, let's try not to make me do all of them at the same time. But if you'd like for me to do either of these, remember what to do. You know what to do down below is to vote for which one you'd like to see. And I will take the top 2 of everything you've seen today and put it on my to-do list for 2026. My goal is to try to get at least 12 of these, but more closer to 20 of these done in 2026. It's ambitious, but you know, if you don't have a goal, then you're not going to get anywhere. You have to focus on where you want to go in order to get there. So you guys, thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you again in Hendon on our next to last go round on my kits that are in my stash for you guys to vote on what will go on my to-do list next year. Thank you for being here. Remember to hit that like button, subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.